of course. Wow. Okay, guys, I just went live. And literally as soon as it said, you're live, my brother calls. Sorry, Tyler, you're being declined. How is everyone doing tonight? Happy Friday. Hopefully you're having a good night. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I don't have you very close. Anyone doing any crafting? Hello, Chingy? Is that what Chinksy? Loretta, hello. I'm just cutting my strings for my craft today. Loud and clear. Perfect. I'm always like nervous because when it shows me the sound levels, it looks low on the full bar. So, hi, Brian. Hi. Is it Sanjana or Sanjana? Let me know. Hi, Van. Hello, Stephanie. What pattern are you making? I'm doing some Rex lace today, actually. I want to do a zebra stripe tornado. Just something casual because I find it's way too much to try and keep up with actually reading a pattern and chatting with you guys and stuff. Amanda, you're crafting too. Awesome. What are you making? Are you working on a bracelet or something? Hey, Kevin. What are you making today? I am going to do a Rex lace, just like a little keychain thing, not anything specific. Hello, Michelle. What time is it in Alberta right now? It is 7:30. 7:30 on the dot. Marissa. See, I'm making pattern 25162 from Bracelet Book. You know I gotta look it up. What does it look like? Wow, there's lots of people here right away. Hi. I hope you're all having a good Friday night so far. My day has been relatively okay. The only not great thing that happened today was the microphone that I've been using for like the last 2 years to do all my voiceovers and stuff for YouTube and for work finally crapped the bed, and I think I'm gonna have to get a new one. So that's not great, but okay. This is like the dotted chevron. I think people have an actual name for it, but I've never actually made it, to be honest. But that's cool. What colors are you doing it in? Oh my gosh, I'm like falling behind here. Sabrina, hey, hello. Loretta, have you ever made paracord bracelets? I have not. However, I know of them, and I know I've had some comments that people use my Rex lace tutorials for paracord bracelets, but I've never actually used paracord. Marissa, I meant to say hi at the beginning. That's okay. Hi. Yes, working on 106020 on Bracelet Book, inspired by your video on the shaped frog bracelet. Is it a frog pattern? There's so many cute ones now on that pattern. That pattern in general, that kind of style has gotten so popular. 106020. 106020. Oh, cool. Looks like a poison dart frog. That's actually really cool. Fun. Cutting strings for a mini starburst pattern currently. You know what? There's a video, and I think it was like 10 tips for knotting quicker, maybe, that I had a mini starburst in. I never actually finished that bracelet. I still haven't made a starburst, mini or otherwise. Making Chinese staircase bracelets. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes simple is the way to go. It's 9:50 p.m. here. 9:50. Okay. Just wanted to drop in and say hi. Can't stay long because my daughter is having a fit, but I will watch later if it stays on replay. No worries. I know the feeling well. I don't take the live streams down. They are on my channel. I do have a playlist for them. So you are, of course, welcome to jump in and watch later. No worries there. Marissa, different shades of blue with black as a background. Oh, that's going to look good. It's Saturday, 9:30 a.m. here on the other side of the globe. I am glad to catch this live while starting the weekend. That's awesome. Yeah, I guess it would be because it's like nighttime here. The other side of the globe would be waking up, wouldn't it? That's, wow, 9:30 in the morning. Oh, awesome. I'm glad it's Saturday for you. That's awesome. I had to work today, so can't wait for tomorrow. I plan to just record what's new. Yeah, it's a poison dart frog. Yes. Hi, Brian. I'm making a green black mini starburst with a white outline. Ooh, that's gonna look good. Green is my favorite color. I love greens and I love blues, but I especially love like deep green. Does your daughter ask you to make bracelets for her? She's a little too small, I think, to understand that I make bracelets. She's only 2. She's almost 3. So I don't know that she quite understands, but she likes them. So like I don't think she knows that I make them, but she likes them. When I have them on, she always tries to pull them off, and she always likes to play with them when I give them to her. So it's 4:30 a.m. Saturday over here for me. Oh my gosh. I don't know whether you woke up at that time. If you woke up at that time, can't relate. I am not a morning person. But if you're still awake at that time, like you might be my type of person, you know? I love green, like olive green and emerald green. Yeah, I love green too. I don't know what it is about, especially dark green. Like I like the bright green, lime greens, that sort of thing, but I love me a good dark green. It's just such a nice color. Anyways, anyone have any plans for the weekend? I'm debating on if I want to go to Edmonton or not. That's where I'm at right now. Can you show your daughter one day? Maybe one day. Right now, I don't really show her on my Instagram or my YouTube just because um I don't feel like it's something that most of the audience really cares about, and also it just feels like kind of weird. Like she doesn't really relate to the content I make. I have shown her picture once in a story, like a story picture on my Instagram, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe when she's older, if she wants to be shown, then sure, but I don't know that I'm going to show her. At least right now, it just kind of weirds me out. I don't know. What is my favorite color? My favorite color is green. Amanda, dark green, Slytherin colors. I mean, yeah, that's not why I like it, but yeah, it is Slytherin colors, and I am in Slytherin, so like it does fit. It's my birthday tomorrow. Well, happy birthday, Brian, in advance. Hopefully, you have a good day. You have a fun weekend. Any plans for your birthday, or are you somewhere that's still in lockdown? We are not in lockdown, but the province I live in is like famously not doing great in this pandemic. It's not good. It's not good. But I don't want to linger on that too much because I don't know what's going on in everyone's lives, and there's enough depression and sadness in the world. Oh, we got another birthday coming up too. Loretta on the 15th. Happy birthday in advance. I'm really bad at remembering birthdays, so happy birthday in advance now. Otherwise, do you guys want to help me figure out pattern to do for the knot along? I want to do another knot along, but I don't know what pattern to do. Marissa, I had my wisdom. I'm thinking that the rest of that sentence, it says I had my wisdom teeth. I assume it's supposed to be I had my wisdom teeth probably removed, and I've had mine removed, and like my jaw hurt for so long. It was not good. So I feel you. Rest up, relax, and hopefully you'll be back on your feet soon. Thanks, Megan. You're welcome, Loretta. Yeah, COVID is not great here in BC. Yeah, the Western provinces don't seem to be doing too great, but I mean, is anywhere doing too great? Let's be honest. Marissa, didn't mean to send before finishing. That's okay. I knew what you meant. I'm going to Cannablay Lake. That sounds like it'll be fun. Are you going to be doing, I'm not sure where you are in the world. I don't recognize that lake name, but are you planning on fishing or just hanging out? Is it swimming weather where you are? Because it is not where I am. I can tell you that much, but hopefully you have fun. Have you ever done a Harry Potter one? I love Harry Potter. A Harry Potter witch, like a bracelet. I had my wisdom teeth removed today and feel well enough to watch you live. Fair enough. When I had my wisdom teeth removed, I basically laid on the couch in my basement. It was summer. We didn't have air conditioning. So I basically laid on the couch in my basement in a bathing suit, munching on ice cubes and stuff, and basically just watched movies nonstop and slept. Are you doing a Halloween nod along for this year? I want to. I don't know whether we should do it as Halloween themed or whether we should just do it fall themed. So I was hoping at some point during this live stream we could maybe chat and I could see what you guys want, get some pattern recommendations and stuff, and we can then I can put up a poll and see what people want to do. So I'd like to get it started maybe a little bit earlier than I did last year, because last year I kind of left it last minute. I am fishing there. Oh, that's awesome. I haven't been fishing in a long time. I used to love fishing, and I don't do it a lot here. I don't really know where to go, and I don't have a boat or anything. And there's not really anywhere that has like docks here. And also the fishing regulations here are like very, very strict. I'm from Ontario, and like it's extremely popular to use live bait. So like minnows and worms and stuff. And in Alberta, you could be fined for that. Most of the lakes you aren't allowed to use anything but like plastic or like spoons, that sort of stuff. So it's a little bit different than I'm used to. So I've gone like a couple times, but not anything crazy. Oh, I was answering a question about nod along recommendations. I have only done the one nod along, and it was last year at Halloween. We did like the poison apple, but a Harry Potter one would be cool. That would kind of, I mean, to me, Harry Potter hits as Christmas because it's just like cozy, comfy vibes to me. But like, definitely could be Halloween too because of witches and wizards. What got you started nodding? When I was in grade school, one of my friends already knew how to knot, and I thought it was absolutely fascinating. Like I've always loved doing arts and crafts and stuff. So I wanted her to teach me, so she taught me, and I'm sure I was really annoying and pestering, but she taught me, and then kind of I wasn't great at it. Then I finally got the actual book myself that she had learned from, and from there it was just like downhill. At that point, I was addicted, and I was doing them all the time. And my parents didn't mind too much because like embroidery floss is much cheaper than buying wool all the time, or one of my other hobbies is like reading books, and purchasing books can get obviously really, really expensive. So my parents were more than happy to be like, oh, you have a hobby that's like 50 cents for a thing? Okay, here you go. No problem. Yeah. Am I falling behind, or did I just miss where I was? Oh, I like Halloween ideas. Yeah, so I'm not sure whether we should do Halloween or just like a general fall or just a general nod along. Voting for fall theme, my favorite season. Yeah, I'm kind of, because I know some people don't really celebrate Halloween or don't like Halloween. So I'm like, well, maybe it's a little more inclusive to just do fall as like a general theme. But I'm not sure. I think fall themed one would be good since last year was a Halloween themed nod along. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then maybe I'm kind of thinking that I might start doing the nod along like every season, but I don't know if that's a little overkill. Like do one in the fall, one in the winter, one in the summer, one in the spring. And then do like a fall themed one, maybe a Christmas themed one, and then like go on from there. Halloween Harry Potter theme idea, something related to Nearly Headless Nick's death day party. Oh, that'd be cool. Yes. Or just like the ghosts in general in Harry Potter. That'd be really cool. What was the first friendship bracelet you made? It was a candy stripe. And I remember it because I picked the Harry Potter colors for it. But out of the strings my friend had, they were all like kind of candy colors. And I wore it until it fell off. And then I remember 2 years later, after this bracelet had like fallen off my wrist and I had lost it, I found it at school in the soccer field. So it was crazy, and it wasn't great, but like my knots were kind of gross and everything, but that's what it was. It was the candy stripe, and it was red, yellow, blue, and green. What was the name of the book? Which book are you speaking of? I'm sorry, there's so many chats going on. I try to remember most of it as I'm going, and sometimes I talk and forget immediately what I've said. Hello, love your channel. Looking forward to watching. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. I feel you on books being expensive. Oh, is that what you were talking about, Brian? It was just books in general. There wasn't really, I mean, Harry Potter is what got me into reading, but it was just books in general. And just buying books and books and books and books and books gets expensive. You're good with either one, Marissa, and that would be fall or Halloween, I assume. Fall is my favorite season too. You know what? I like fall just because it's the start of getting into cozy vibes. But ultimately, summer is my favorite just because I'm always cold, and I love, love, love just soaking in the heat. Oh, so you live in Ontario. I thought you were from Alberta. No, I am from Ontario and I live in Alberta. So flip it, the opposite. You could do a fall theme Halloween, and Halloween would go into the fall theme. Yeah, I kind of thought about that too. But then, yeah, I don't know. I have some like patterns wrote down that I've been kind of thinking of. So, hi, I'm currently making a Disney collection. Ooh, fun. I did Stitch, Piglet, Little Mermaid, and I'm currently doing Winnie the Pooh. Disney is great all the time. You know what? I agree. Every now and then, I just like to sit down and watch a Disney movie. And like the animated ones. Like, I'm not talking like go on Disney Plus and watch like the Marvel movies. Like, yes, I love the Marvel movies. But like sometimes you just got to sit down and watch like a classic animated movie. And for me, that generally ends up being Hercules because I love the music in it. Honestly, I just love, please no one take this the wrong way, but I just love the way that sassy black ladies sing, and the music in Hercules, the muses. Oh, I love it so much. I love it so much. Okay, thank you. I need to go now. Bye. Okay, Brian, have a good weekend. Have fun at the lake, and hopefully you catch something fishing, and happy birthday. Do you have a book you recommend for preteens? I mean, obviously I will always recommend Harry Potter, but it depends on what genres you're into. If you're looking for something like preteen, if you've read the Percy Jackson series, the Heroes of Olympus series is really good, and it's a little more substantial than like the Percy Jackson series. Percy Jackson series, I feel like, is geared pretty young, but the Heroes of Olympus series is geared a little bit older, but not quite something I would label like solidly YA. So that was a really good series. I really enjoyed that, and I read it as an adult. Just looking at my shelf, because I keep a lot of my books. Preteen, the Artemis Fowl series was always a favorite of mine. When I was younger, I absolutely loved that series. And there's a whole bunch of more books in it from when I had stopped reading it. I'm trying to think. I've got a whole bunch of my like preteen books in that box there, saved for when my daughter gets older. The series of Unfortunate Events. That's a fun series. Trying to think of what else is in there. Narnia. I don't know. I read a lot of fantasy, if you can't tell by those recommendations. Like, that's what I'm into. So I don't really read a lot of contemporary. I don't know what you're into, but those are ones I enjoyed when I was a little bit younger, like more than 10 years ago. What do you think of Stranger Things, the show? Have you watched it? I really like the show. I watched the first season and I thought it was pretty good, but I don't watch a ton of TV and I don't stick with a lot of shows, like even shows that I really like. Like, for instance, I really enjoyed Umbrella Academy, but then by the time the second season came out, I just didn't really care anymore and couldn't get back into it. I like started the first episode and I was just like completely detached from the characters and everything. So I don't really stick with a lot of stuff. So I watched the first season, but I never watched any of the other seasons, excuse me, seasons of it. Wow, you make me want to rewatch Hercules. Oh, I love that movie. The name's Meg. That gets me cracking every time. I've quoted that line a few times and my friends just don't get it. The name's Meg, or at least that's what my friends call me, or they would if I had any. Loretta says she likes Stranger Things. You know what? I didn't mind it. I would have to sit down and like rewatch it from the beginning because I don't remember much of it. No chance, no way, I won't say it. No, no. You soothe, you sigh. Check the night into do. Yes. What is your favorite movie of all time? Probably The Silence of the Lambs. Which is like, I feel like some people think that's kind of morbid, but like I think that one's so significant to me because that was like before that, like I watched that when I was maybe, I'm chatting so much I haven't even been able to get my first stitch in here. I keep reading that comment with the lyrics in it and wanting to just stop and sing. But yeah, I think it was so significant to me because it was kind of the first movie I watched that was maybe classified as a thriller, and I really enjoyed it. And it just seemed so dimensional and so different to anything I had watched at the time because I was like, I don't know, like 13 or 14. And like I didn't grow up with cable or internet. So like when I watched that, I was like, oh my gosh, this was so good. And it's just always kind of stuck with me. Like I like the characters. I've read the books and they were really good. Also, though, side note, if you like the movie and you're like, I should read the book is like the exact same. There's not enough differences for it to be worth it. I did it. I'll tell you so you know. Okay. Awesome. I have a friend that has that as her favorite movie also. It's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. I honestly really, really enjoyed all of the Hannibal movies. I think were pretty cool, in my opinion. What are your all's favorite movies? I want movie recommendations. So what are your favorite movies that I could sit and craft to? Because here's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm kind of thinking, do I do another 24-hour challenge this weekend? Because my daughter is at her dad's this weekend. Or do I drive into the city? You know what I mean? Isn't movie equals book a good thing? Haha. A common complaint about the book-based movies is that they don't follow the book. Yes. When they're close, it is good. However, I'd never heard anyone talk about them or compare them. And like it's a fair sized book. I have it on my shelf somewhere. But like it's a like it's a chunky book. So it was a lot of time and I was expecting differences because it was like a book to movie adaptation and there wasn't. So it's just like if you want to read the book, but it's really like the exact same as the movie. Mine is The Hobbit, and yes to the challenge. The Hobbit. You know what? I tried to read, I don't even remember which book it was. It was like a compilation, a big honking thing with multiple J.R.R. Tolkien books in it. And I don't know if it was The Hobbit or if it was just like the first Lord of the Rings book, but oh my gosh, I couldn't. The first chapter was like a party or something and everyone was being introduced and I couldn't keep track of the characters within the first chapter. And I was like, I know I'm not going to be able to read this because I don't know what's going on already. And we're not even to the bottom of page 1. So I haven't tried since, but I know a lot of people love it. So I kind of do want to try. What is your favorite book to movie adaptation? Ooh. Accuracy-wise, I think The Silence of the Lambs is probably up there. But you know what? I really love the Harry Potter movies. I do think they did a pretty good job. Towards the end, I think they started cutting out too much for them to kind of be like, you had to read the books, I think, to really fill in everything. But I think the first few Harry Potter movies did fairly well. I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what was a garbage one? The Host. They did a garbage adaptation of that movie. Oh, Percy Jackson wasn't a great adaptation either. They did a pretty good adaptation of the Hunger Games too. Like they definitely tweaked some things, but I feel like they kept the core of that pretty good. Mortal Instruments, I think they did dirty on the movie. The TV show was okay, but yeah, I think probably obviously like The Silence of the Lambs is my favorite movie, and the book is basically like the exact same. So I would probably say The Silence of the Lambs still. If drive into the city equals new craft supplies and change of scenery, why not? Unless it's too cold to do so, then 24-hour challenge. See, drive into the city does mean new craft supplies, which like, yes, but also drive to the city is like 5 hours. So it's like, it would be like an overnight, have to pay for a hotel and everything trip. Like I could do it in a day. I've done it before in a day. Like maybe I could, but I'm also kind of like, if I go, I'm going to spend a lot of money. And I don't know that I want to do that right now either. So I'm kind of on the fence. Then 24-hour challenge. I don't know if it should be a bracelet challenge, like a 24-hour bracelet challenge, or like a 24-hour crochet challenge, or just a 24-hour crafting challenge. Movie recommendations. Anything Stephen King. I love his movies and books. I went through a phase when I was in high school where I watched like a number of them. Back when Blockbuster was still open, I'd just walk down the street and rent them from Blockbuster. Hi, first time here. I'd recommend a movie, but all I can think of are the foreign language films, which definitely aren't good for crafting too. You know what? I have started like a couple shows before, and that's why, is it Narcos, I think, that got really popular, and I just couldn't get into it for that reason because I don't like to just sit still, and the whole thing is subtitles, which, like you said, abysmal for if you're trying to craft. My crafts are friendship bracelets and rainbow loom bracelets and drawing pictures, and I think that's supposed to say knit. Yes to friendship bracelets. Bracelet loom, rainbow loom bracelets. I never super got into myself. Not anything against them. I just didn't really get into them. I keep looking up and I haven't even done my first stitch. Like I might as well give up crafting at this point, honestly. My favorite movie is Feel the Beat and Grey's Anatomy. I feel like I may have seen Feel the Beat, but I haven't watched Grey's Anatomy. Not really my type of show. I'm back. My phone stopped working, so my daughter gave it back to me when really the Wi-Fi just froze and she thought it was broke. Parenting win. The movies for The Hobbit are better than the book. Okay, I never watched the Hobbit movies. I did watch like the Lord of the Rings movies. I just made the mistake of watching them all in a day, and I didn't realize that my stepdad's collection was like the special collector's extended edition with like 3 hours of extra footage. And I was honestly ready to like shoot myself in the face by the end of that day. That was just a little too much. In my opinion, The Hobbit is easier to read through than the loader volumes. Good to know. Maybe I'll try The Hobbit sometime. Oh, a movie that is quite a good adaptation from the book, Interview with the Vampire. Yes, I didn't even think about that one. That one, they did do pretty good on that. They did. I recently watched Edge of 17 and Words on Bathroom Walls. I like it a lot, but not sure if it's a genre you would like. You know what? when the trailers were coming out for Edge of 17, I thought it looked really funny, but it wasn't one I raced out to see. And then I just never watched it. And Words on Bathroom Walls, I don't think I've even heard of. So I'm not sure if I would like it or not. I agree. The Host was a really bad version of the book. Honestly, I really, really like that book. I've reread it a few times, but that adaptation was horrendous. And I feel so bad because honestly, and some people may disagree, but I feel kind of sorry for Stephenie Meyer because honestly, I think they did the Twilight movies dirty too. I really like those books. And then once the movies came out, I was like, ooh. Like, the books didn't seem cringe until I saw the movies. And then I was like, oh, this is like really cringe. I was like, 13, 14 reading them. Oh, wow. It's a 5-hour drive. Yeah, especially if you hit traffic. Like not the last time I went up. The last time I went up, it wasn't a bad drive at all. But the time before that, I went up and I got stuck on the highway for an extra hour. And there's like not really anything between here and there. So it's not like a logging truck had caught on fire. So the whole highway was shut down, but it's not like there was anywhere to go. Like I had to go to the bathroom so bad. I climbed out and went in the woods on the side of the road. But like, it's a long drive and it's not an entertaining one. I feel like this is a controversial one, but what do you think of the Divergent movie or book? I enjoyed the first book. Like I kind of enjoyed the books, but by the time it got to the last book, I felt like Triss was a Mary Sue. Like the first book I thought was good. Then the second book, it kind of seemed to be like she didn't really have any flaws, or like her flaws weren't actually flaws. Like what was portrayed as flaws was like her not fitting into her. I don't even remember the names of like the clans. I know they're not even called clans, but like I remember Dauntless and Erudite, and I don't remember which one that she was in, but I remember that was like her thinking it's a flaw that she doesn't fit into her group. And I'm like, not really a flaw, just, and then it's like her big flaw was that after she shot someone who was brainwashed, she couldn't lift a gun for like a book and a half. Didn't really seem, I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like that opinion, but the last book I thought was good. I liked that she died at the end. I know that sounds terrible, and that was a major spoiler. Oh my gosh. Sorry. If you haven't watched or read those, I am so sorry. I didn't even think before I said that. I am so sorry. But I felt like it was finally fitting, like there was a flaw to her character and she couldn't live through everything finally at the end. I'd say 24-hour craft challenge. Yeah, I thought about that. That could be fun and just switch between different crafts and see how much I get done. Feel the Beat is part about dancing. Yeah, I seem to recall that. I can't remember all the actors' names, but there's Shiloh Nelson and Sophia Carson. Factions. That's what they're called. Yes. The Greatest Showman was a good one. I started watching it, but at the time, there was a bunch of people over, a bunch of noise going on, and I never picked it up again, to be honest. But I've heard so many great things about it. I really got to sit down and just watch it again. I just feel like I have to be in the mood to watch musicals now. The Princess Bride is a classic. I've actually never watched it. How? I see you wrote later, oops, how's it going? Joining in while I wind up some hanks of yarn. Oh, awesome. It's going pretty good here. We're just chilling and chatting so much. I literally haven't finished the first stitch of the craft that I picked up for this. So we're just having a good time, Nothing crazy going on here. How about you? And then, what is your perspective on Twilight now as an adult? I haven't watched Twilight or read Twilight since the first movie came out. To be like completely and utterly honest, I have not watched it since then. So like I don't really I haven't read it through the perspective as of an adult. Like I think like from some of the stuff I remember, I'm like, wow, that's kind of yikes that was like New Moon. The whole thing is her being depressed because her boyfriend left her. Like I get that you get sad, but I don't feel like that's a healthy thing to depict. And I don't think it's healthy that she was that attached to someone. But like as far as like the details go, like jokingly, yeah, there's some weird stuff in there. Like Edward admits to climbing through her bedroom window and watching her sleep. And she's like, yeah, let me date this guy. I'd be like, yeah, let me call the cops. Like, as someone who has had a couple like low key stalkers in my lifetime, it's creepy and it's not comfortable. So like if someone I hardly knew told me that, I'd be like, lock and bar the windows, like never sleeping in my room again. That would be me. Honestly, avoid the cities as much as possible. A crafts marathon sounds like fun. Honestly, yes, I'm not a huge fan of cities either. However, the town that I live in doesn't really have any craft stores. So if I want to get any kind of like, I wouldn't be able to buy spools of Rex lace in town here. Like these, I would have to go out of town for. Any kind of like specialty wool, I'd have to go out of town for. Any kind of large selection, like the only really craft store we have here is like Walmart. So like if I want anything that's not like Red Heart wool, I pretty much, or blanket wool. Bernat blanket seems to be extremely popular in town here. If I want anything outside of that, I pretty much have to leave town. If I want to get a pack of loops and thread embroidery floss, I have to leave town. And that's like the closest town that would sell it would be Edmonton, the big city. So like, yeah, I don't particularly love going to the city, but sometimes it's the only place you can get stuff. What about Shadow and Bone? That's the one. Shadow and Bone is the one that has like the Six of Crows and the Grisha series, or Grisha, I think they call it in the TV show. I really enjoyed that, but I haven't read the Grisha trilogy. I only read the Six of Crows duology. So they definitely changed it a bit from my memory, but I did really enjoy it. I can't wait for more of that to come out, honestly. I haven't read the Twilight books, but I have watched the movies. Yeah, I enjoyed the books a lot more than the movies. And I don't know whether it's because they're like wrote in first person that you feel like more connected and like in the story, but I don't think they casted the movie well at all. And I don't even mean like, I know a lot of people don't like Kristen Stewart. I thought she was okay. I don't think they casted most of the characters well, though, to be honest. Does an online order take too long to arrive? The only thing I don't like about online orders, you have to pay for shipping on top of it. So not only do I pay for my product, but I also pay for $10 or $15 shipping and then have to wait sometimes, a week to get it, which I don't like, because why spend extra money and have to wait that long? Like, I guess technically you'd be spending the money on gas or whatever to go into the city. But if I go into the city, I don't just go to one store. Like, I make an event out of it. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to the craft store, I'm also going to go to like Lush. This time of year, I would go and do my Christmas shopping before weather hits and you can't, like, it's not nice to go down the highway. I would get like my plan was to maybe go to Edmonton this weekend and do like a good chunk of my Christmas shopping. That was honestly what my plan was. So it'd be like, it's a big thing, like hit Costco because we don't have a Costco. It'd be get craft supplies, go to Lush. I'd maybe take my car into the dealership and actually have it checked over by the dealership. just stuff like that. Like I make it more than just a one-stop casual thing. You should try pattern number 105889 for fall or Halloween. Let me look it up. If you mention a pattern number, I gotta look it up. Where did it go? 105889. 105889. Oh, it's a little frog with a pumpkin on his head. That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. Not gonna lie. I gotta add that to my ever-growing to-dos. My to-dos are never to done, guys. Bye, Megan. I love you so much. See you next week if you do a live. Bye, Van. I won't be doing a live next week because next week is my week with my daughter. But the next week after that, I plan to do another live. Loretta, our town doesn't have crafting items sold anywhere. We have to go out of town, but it's 15 to 30 miles away. Either that or Amazon. Yeah, I live in northern Alberta. So the closest town with a craft store is like, it's far away. Like the closest town, honestly, that's not like a village or a hamlet, is far away. The Princess Bride is good. It can be very sarcastic, which makes it funny. After 5 years of nagging my husband to watch it, and now he quotes it. That's awesome. I love when that happens, when you like pester someone and they're like dragging their feet, and then they end up enjoying it. That always makes me happy. Does your town not offer delivery services for craft material, or does it just not worth it? No. I mean, like I could, like they just don't have the stuff here. Like I could order online through Walmart and go pick it up, but I still have to wait for like multiple days for them to get a shipment in, sort of thing. There is a private craft store, but they're very small, so they don't have a huge selection of things. So those are the only two things in town. Everything else is 5.5 hours away, and I would have to order online, and I would have to pay shipping on it. Like it would be sent through regular mail, not like someone doing a run up sort of thing. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I have a new yarn Swift and yarn winder that's making this process so much easier. I saw a yarn winder. I went to Walmart today because I was looking for wool to do a crochet along that is happening, that another YouTuber I watch is hosting. And they didn't have any of the yarn I wanted. They basically had a massive stock of different kinds of plain red heart, which I have a ton of here. I don't need more of that. I wanted some nice wool. But I did see they had a winder, and I was really, really tempted to get it because I've never had one before, and it would make my life so much easier. But I walked away from it because I was like, Megan, that's not what you came here for. That's just spending unnecessary money. I love your channel and your craft. Thank you, Kevin. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad you enjoy the craft too, because I don't know, I love crafting, and that's why I started the channel, to try and spread my love of crafting to other people. Oh yeah, there was news that people should start on their Christmas shopping now because of expected delays and stuff due to the pandemic. I've heard that as well. For me, I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking more like it's a very, very long drive, and there's not a lot between here and there. Which is to say, like Edmonton, it's like 4.5, 5 hour drive. So when weather hits, it's a really gross drive to do, because if you do slide off the road, or you do go into the ditch, or you do go through a guardrail, it could be hours before someone finds you, and there's dead zones along that highway. So it's just kind of a scary trip to do, especially if you're in a vehicle that doesn't have 4-wheel drive. Like I have all-wheel drive, but I still don't know that I would do that alone in the winter. That just seems like asking for something bad to happen. Yay, you liked my suggestion. Glad you liked it. Of course. That was so cute with the frog. I have to travel an hour to get to a craft store. See, I could do an hour. An hour would be lovely. If it was just an hour, I'd be there all the time. All the time. But unfortunately, it's more than that. Obviously, I wish there was something a little more extensive closer, but I'll take what I can get. Oh, a cute Halloween fall pattern for your consideration. Another one. Yes, guys, I like this. I like this. 104295. 104295. What do we got? Oh, a little kitty in the pumpkin. You know what? I considered this one as well. This was one that I had looked at too. And I had thought about that. And then I was like, fall or Halloween or, you know. Have you read any books from the author V.E. Schwab? I have not yet. I do have some saved in my Audible library, though. I want to read A Darker Shade of Magic. And I think she's got a couple others, too, that I have in there already. But I started with a cheap winder from a craft store. Not worth it. I ended up buying a $60 winder. It was on sale for $40 and it was worth it. Yeah, the one that was there, I think it was like $30. But honestly, it was one of those things where it's like, I don't need it. And it's not what I went to the store for. And this time of year, I always try to save my money because I like to splurge at Christmas. And also my daughter's birthday is in November. So I'd rather spend money on them than stupid things I don't need, you know? Maybe you could try 105544. What's it look like? 105544. Give it to me, baby. I have this one on my list too. And there's another one very similar to this. Is this the other one that you suggested? 4-5? I bet it is. Because there's two little kind of like Halloween-y gnomes. Yeah, I love this one with the little witch hat and the bats. So I'm thinking maybe one of those, but then there's been a lot of people say that they maybe like just like a fall themed not along. So Helen, what website are those on? That would be Bracelet Book. I think most people are suggesting Bracelet Book patterns also because that's like the main site I use and I'm a moderator on there. So if anyone is suggesting just a pattern number, please know that I will be expecting it to be Bracelet Book. You asked Amanda as well the same question. Lloyd responded Bracelet Book. Yeah, these are definitely on Bracelet Book. 105537. Okay, let me take a look. 105537. In other news, I got my starting stitch finished. Nothing else, just the start. I've abandoned it. Too much going on. Oh, that's cute. Just like a little leaf-shaped bracelet. I feel like this would be one for a tutorial, maybe not a whole knot along, because I feel like this is really quick for a knot along, or would go by really quick for a knot along, but it is very cute. And what was the other one you suggested? 103494. 103494. The Hello Kitty one, cute. And you know what? That's not super big. That could be like a keychain. That could be a cute one to do too. Just a little keychain. Bracelet Book has a ton of really good patterns. It really does. It's so massive. Like, I don't look at Friendship Dash bracelets anymore. There was a time where I would kind of browse both, but I haven't looked at Friendship Dash bracelets in a long time. Congratulations on achieving your starting stitch, right? Too busy chatting and everything. I kept dropping the strings. You're making me so happy on my side of the screen. LOL, thinking my choices are cute. Oh, that's so cute. Of course. I love looking at patterns so much. And I think that's why I have so many patterns in my to-dos. And I've got 1,480 to-dos right now on Bracelet Book. There's no way I'm ever going to finish all of those. But like, I love looking at them so much. And I get so inspired by people's designs and stuff. So whenever anyone suggests anything, I have to look. I really do. What time is it there? It is almost 8:20. It's 8:18 right now. 8:18. I have like a whole little sticky note of patterns that I had been looking at before. So like for Halloween ones, what did I have on here? You guys tell me what you think about these. So I had 90807, which is just like this, like definitely like Halloween witch sort of vibes. But I thought it was like simple enough that it would be attainable by some people who maybe aren't super versed in bracelet making or alphas. So it's like, I don't know, it just opens it up a little more to a larger group of people. And then I had 57147. I don't remember what these were. I didn't write any notes other than that. And then just like, these are my Halloween ones. I have ones that aren't Halloween, but this one's just the little boo and the ghost. I thought that was pretty cute. And again, not as color switching extensive as last year's. Last year's, I feel like, was maybe a little much for some people. Let me catch up in the chat here. I'm working on the alpha of Elmo on Fire. Very fun, but this row right now is half color switched. There's a few of those patterns, and I imagine doing the flames and everything would be a lot of color switches for sure. Also guilty of owning a will probably never finish making to-do list. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like there's some people who have like a minimal list. Like I look at Kinsey and she's got maybe like 20 patterns on her to-do list at a time. I'm like, how? I don't understand how. To-dos overload, LOL. Exactly. It's 10:30 where I am. Not sleeping, rather watch you. 10:30 is not even bedtime for me. 10:30 is like 10:30 is generally when I like start contemplating sitting down and filming. Sometimes I start earlier than that, but like 10:30, I'm like, oh, there's still lots of time in the night because I'm definitely a night owl. But hopefully you don't have to wake up early tomorrow morning and you're just sitting here watching me instead of sleeping because you will regret it tomorrow, my friend. 7:21 p.m. in California. California. Yeah, you guys would be the same time zone as BC, an hour behind us. So that makes sense. Is it warm in California right now? Because it's not here. I tell you what, it is not here. We are full-blown fall weather. The leaves have all changed. They're starting to fall off the trees. What trees we have left. Here's another pattern. I thought this one could be a little more fun because it's like Edgar Allan Poe inspired. You know, like it could be a little different, but it's also like kind of Halloween-y and just like spooky season vibes. So I kind of like that one too. What pattern was that? Where am I in my list? I have so many here. It's not even funny. 104537. What is this? Oh, the little cartoon Grim Reaper. That one's cute too. But let's look at some of these fall ones. What did I put down for no theme or like nature? I'm a procrastinator, and yes, I get to sleep in this weekend, baby. Woohoo! Yes, I am guilty of procrastinating too. I've been trying to get better at it, but I also sometimes just find like I'm a person who just works well under pressure. I think it probably has to do with being in a state of stress for most of my life, probably. And it's probably not at all healthy, but I continue to do it because I'm a terrible person. Then there's this one. Now, this one would be, I feel like, pretty advanced. You guys have to tell me if you think this would be a little too much for a knot along. There's this one, and it would be larger. It is 76 by 76. Like, it would be a large, like, I start recording tomorrow knot along. But you guys tell me what you think. It says Hello Fall. I know it's probably switched it for the screen for you. Probably. I can see it switched it. Megan, you dumbass. 104451. What is this one? I'm not feeling that one anymore. That was just like a deer. It's cute, but I'm not feeling it for a knot long. 1 week it will be nice and a little chill, not freezing cold, and then the following week it's hot. Follows come early for us. Normally it doesn't come until the very end of October. Normally we have snow by now. Where I am, we've generally seen at least the first snowfall around October 1st. Now today wasn't too cold. I think it got up to maybe 14 today, and today was like the first warm day in like a good couple weeks. Otherwise, it's been like we've hit below zero a couple times already. Yes to the Edgar Allan Poe Raven pattern and the cartoon Grim Reaper also. You have really nice patterns on your to-do list. I see why your list is extensive. I've been on Bracelet book for like over 9 years though, so I feel like I saw a lot of patterns come out as they were coming out, and I didn't, they just kind of sat there. Would I mind doing a book talk video? You know what's funny that you mentioned that? Before I started, it wasn't before I started this challenge. It was a challenge channel. But before I started posting on this channel regularly, I had tried to do a booktube channel, and it just like I put out a few videos and they weren't, I don't want to say they weren't great. It was just at that point I didn't really know what I was doing, so there was a lot of rambling and they weren't super good. But maybe I could do something like book related once in a while here. I wouldn't mind doing that because I love reading. I'm definitely not lazy. Nope, definitely not lazy. Same. And you know what's funny is that it's not even like it's always been lazy, because like there was a point in high school, like I've always just procrastinated, but there was a point in high school where I was doing like extracurricular activities every single night of the week. And then I was working on the weekend. So it's not even like you could say I was lazy. It was just like once I had finished doing all my things, I had done so much that like homework was kind of like, I'll do it later. And there were some things that definitely went, I'll do it later. I've been admiring 105,968. 968. What does that one look like? 17 strings, 6 colors, alpha. I just added this to my to-dos today. I kid you not. That is a very cute one and definitely a good fall one. A good fall theme as well. I'm going to add that actually onto my sticky. 105,968. What else have I got on here? This looks like an older pattern. What is this? 49009. What are you? We could go like not even fall or even Halloween themed at all. Because I was like, maybe it would be fun to just do one of these like scenescapes. And you could make this fall depending on like what colors and stuff you use. If you use like browns and reds and oranges and stuff. But I don't know if that's something anyone would be interested in doing. Something like that. Or what else do we have here? What is this one? 104251. Did I already look at this? Did I? Oh, and then there's this one, similar to the Halloween gnomes. This one is just like a little fall gnome. So if we didn't want to do Halloween, we could do something just fall. And that one I think is pretty cute. And it's pretty small, so it could be a keychain. It would maybe be like a 2-part video. It wouldn't be super long. Also, I'm going to look in maybe doing them as live streams this year instead of recorded videos, because I was going to try and set up my live stream, like schedule it earlier today from my phone. And a pop-up came up about reading the chat on another device. And I was like, if I'm able to do that, then I could potentially use my regular camera setup with you guys looking at my hands and then read and interact with the chat from my computer. But I have to look into it more to see if that's actually possible. I love watching you, but I can barely see the screen because I have a sty in my eye and it hurts so bad. So sore. Have you ever had one? I haven't had like a painful one. I had like a really tiny one once, but not one that was really painful, and it like went away on its own. So hopefully that feels better for you soon, because that sucks. Anything painful around your eyes just seems to be even more painful. Like I had a spot here earlier this week because I use like retinol in my face like skin regimen, and they didn't have the normal product I use, so I got a different one, and I thought it was like the same strength as the one I had been using. So I used it the first day and it was fine. And then didn't think anything of it, used it the second day, and it ended up being obviously much stronger than I was used to because I had all kinds of like peeling skin and red patches. And there was just a really sore spot on my eye that had like peeled and got really, really sensitive. And it felt like anytime I like accidentally rubbed it or whatever, it felt like I was being stabbed in the eye. So definitely feel for you. Any pain near the eye is not fun. Oh, I have a pattern, 106041. Let me see, 106041. Oh, that one's cute too. It's like pumpkins and a little skeleton. I feel like that kind of combines Halloween and fall. Like the color palette doesn't feel super Halloween. It feels more fall. And the little like skull, I guess these are technically bats, but like the decor of it feels Halloween. You know what I mean? That one's a cute one too. I'm going to write that one down. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to hold my phone and write at the same time with like the same hand. It's not working, obviously. You literally said 2 spots down. I didn't read it, I swear, until now. It's like a combo between Halloween and fall. Same brainwave. 104446 is cute, but kind of big. Well, let's take a look. Oh, that one's cute too. Oh, that's another cat and a pumpkin. It's just a larger, more little kawaii little chibi guy. Oh, I love it. I love looking at all these patterns. My to-do list is just growing, guys. Just growing. What is this one? 59867. What is this one? Yeah, if we didn't want to do, I don't know. I feel like everyone's kind of feeling the fall vibes because I was like, well, maybe we could do something just a little more nature themed. But I feel like everyone's kind of feeling like the fall or Halloween vibe. So maybe we'll just focus on that. And I don't remember which of these patterns is that. So what is this one? Similar to the last one, just bigger. We don't want it. 104604. What is that? What is that? 104604. I just saw the chat jump from the corner of my eye. Keep adding onto that list. You have enough yet? I'm just as guilty. I add onto it almost every day, to be quite honest. But I've been brainstorming a lot of different video ideas and stuff to start trying to knock it back. So I've been thinking, tell me if this is a weird idea. I got hit with a brainwave yesterday that I was like, maybe I should do, like, you know how people have like Instagram chooses my bracelet, or maybe like a random number generator chooses my bracelet. I was like, what if I did my Spotify playlist chooses my bracelet, and I put it on shuffle and just hit the button like 3 times. And whatever song comes up, I have to pick a to-do that I find inspiration from that song on. So like, for instance, if you had like Taylor Swift's Picture to Burn, maybe I would make a pattern like one of those Polaroid patterns. Or if you had a song that was talking about, I don't know, like if you had, if I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? Then maybe I'd do like a Superman or a superhero pattern. But I don't know, like obviously you wouldn't be able to play the song on YouTube without being demonetized. But it could be a fun way of letting you guys see kind of what my music taste is, and also knocking down my to-do list. But I don't know if it seems a little too abstract or not. I think you can choose like 4 patterns yourself and put a poll up for YouTube to nod along. That's what I did. No, I didn't do a poll last year. I did a poll on whether you guys wanted to do it or not. But I just wanted to get some suggestions because I wanted to feel it out. I wasn't sure what people were wanting. And it seems to be kind of, I feel like most of the chat tonight has been leaning more towards I can't talk anymore, towards just autumn vibes instead of like Halloween vibes. That's a good idea. Okay, you guys like that idea? That's really creative, pretty cool idea. That's a really good idea. Okay, maybe I will do that then. That hit me when I was in the shower yesterday. Like a song came on and it was referencing flames. And I was like, you know, you could probably do like a Spotify chooses my bracelet. And I think, I don't know, I think it'd be kind of fun. So maybe I'll try filming that this weekend and I'll see how it goes. If it seems kind of weird, then maybe I won't post it. But I think it would be fun. And then like it could be really difficult too, because like some songs, I don't know, you could get something really random and you're like, I don't even know. You have to get really abstract and like analytical about things, which could be a whole different level of interesting, or it could push you to make patterns you didn't really consider before. Gotta save Halloween for later on. Not yet, but very soon. Yeah, I wouldn't start a Halloween not along like this week unless it was a really large one. Like if we found a Halloween pattern that was like that, like 70 by 70, I would probably start that now because it would end up being like a 5 or 6 part thing. And I wouldn't be able to get it all done in like a week. So it would be like a multi-week thing, like maybe 2 videos a week sort of thing. Just the only thing I don't want to do is start it too late, because last year, if I remember correctly, I think I posted the last part like on Halloween, and I'd like to have it done maybe like at least a couple days before Halloween. So if anyone is like actually nodding along while I'm nodding, it's just kind of more time to finish it. I don't know. I think instead of playing the song in the video, you can put the song name in the description for the person to see. Yeah, I'd probably like mute it and just do the screenshot of like whatever comes up, like the song name and artist and like the album artwork or whatever kind of shows up on Spotify. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't play the song, but I was like, does that take away from it? You know? Sorry, guys. I've had these sitting beside me this whole time. And I've been resisting, and I couldn't resist anymore. I had to have some. I liked your last year one so much. That's awesome. I'm glad people liked it. I didn't really know whether I should do it like tutorial driven or just chatty video. And I think I kind of made a mistake because a lot of people were like, oh, you should ask for topics before you started filming. The problem was I think maybe like a week or 2 before that, I had done a Q&A video. So it was like I'd covered all the topics and all the chatty and questions there. So I didn't really feel like I had anything new to talk about. So I think for half of the last one, I talked about my dying spider plants. That spider plant did die, for the record. I bought a new one. It's doing well, along with the rest of my plants. I think it will be more interesting if you choose the songs using one of those spin the wheel apps. Yeah, it could be. I mean, that could add a level of interest just to the screen, and I could just put random songs in there. I wouldn't be able to put my whole like liked song playlist though, because that's like hundreds and hundreds of songs. And I just wouldn't hand bomb all of those songs into there. That would be me being lazy. I am not going to type out 400 different song titles to put in a wheel, but I might pick out like 20 or something. But I was thinking if we put it on shuffle, like I don't know what would come up next anyways. We just hit shuffle maybe like, I don't know, like 5 times. And then whatever the song is what we go with. I've been watching you for so long. Not one regret to go back, never. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for watching for so long. Yeah, you were saying you liked last year's one too. So I'm so happy when I hear that. I'm glad that you guys still enjoy my channel, because I never thought that it would grow to what it has, or that anyone would really be interested in it. Like, I kind of thought I might get a couple people watching it, but I didn't really think it would get to what it is now, which is over 12,000 subscribers, which is crazy to me. Absolutely mind blowing. Like, I thought I'd maybe, like, best chance get to like 100 subs, maybe 200 if I was like really feeling inspirational that day. And it's blown up so much further than that. And there's so many names and stuff that I recognize from comments for so long that it's really cool. It is really cool to see your guys' names. Like, I recognize so many of your names from the other live streams and from like the comment section and stuff. And I think it's so cool that there's people that want to take their time to watch me and hear what I have to say and stuff. So I actually binge your videos when nodding or when I'm stressed. Love you. Oh, guys, that's so cool. Thank you. No, you deserve 1 million right now. I don't know about 1 million. I feel like I have a lot of room to grow still. I have a lot to learn. Like, I don't know anything about video editing or anything. Everything I've done, like setup wise, camera wise, it's all kind of been learn as I go, which is really obvious when you go back to my earlier videos. I've learned to just like compact things down a lot more and change my setup and stuff. Yeah, I binge videos when I make bracelets too. Honestly, whenever I'm crafting, I binge my favorite creators and YouTube videos in general, to be honest. Just curious, why are you not promoting the live over on your Instagram account? I did the first one. Did I promote the second one? I don't remember. We've only done 3 or 4 of these ever. And my Instagram base is significantly smaller than my YouTube base. So I wasn't sure. And I feel like there's quite a bit of crossover of people who follow me on Instagram because they already follow me here. So I just kind of figured if I'm posting it on here like ahead of time so it's scheduled and people can see it's scheduled, then I feel like it's hitting the same audience anyways. But I may start posting over there more in general. Like, I don't really post on Instagram a ton, and I really should, to be honest. But Heller with your exclamation points and hearts. Thank you. I love your cleaning your to-do videos. Will you do more? I was thinking that exact thought yesterday. Not that I love them, but that I need to do one. Yeah, because my to-dos are creeping way, way up again. And just being realistic, like, I could do a bracelet every single day for the next 3 years and still not be through my to-dos. So I think I've been thinking of even completely erasing my to-do list and doing a build my to-do list with me video and just go the opposite way. But I feel like I'll always end up back where I am. You're so inspiring, love. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I inspire you guys to try things, and I'm glad you guys enjoy making bracelets and just watching me and stuff. It's so incredible when I hear things like that. You make me feel like we're all besties. You guys are my besties. Who are you kidding? Okay, we are besties. I also really love your hair. Thank you. It's finally starting to fade now. It's a little more pink than it was before. I'm trying to decide whether I should touch it up and keep the purpley pink going for a while, or if I should let it go and just, honestly, I was going to let it go and hang out on the blonde for a while, but this dye is hanging in there pretty good. So I might ride the pink a little bit longer, or I might just wait for it to fade and just dye it out because my roots are already starting to come in pretty aggressive. So same, my to-do list is also ever growing, honestly. Like, I feel like I do those clean out my to-do videos, and in those videos, I will knock it down like a significant amount. And then I feel like it's right back to where it was like by the end of the week. Maybe a call my to-do list exercise is in order. literally. But I'm afraid, you know what I'm afraid of? I'm like, I'm going to do that. And like, I've been on Bracelet Book for about 9 years, over 9 years. I think I'm closing in on 10 years now. And I think about it and I always go, there's so many patterns in there that I know other people haven't seen because they're old and they didn't use keywords maybe in the most optimal way, but they were put on there when there was only like less than 10,000 patterns on the site. So it wasn't difficult to find them. And now I feel like I have like hidden treasure in my to-do. And if I let that go, I won't find those patterns again. So like part of me wants to just erase the whole board and start from zero. And then the other part of me is like FOMO. I'm afraid I'm going to lose those really awesome patterns and miss out on having those patterns as even an idea or concept to do. So I probably won't ever erase the whole thing, but I have been really, really, really tempted. It suits you. Thank you. You know what? Pink and the blonde have probably been my favorite colors that I've done in a long time. By the way, I'm the person with the account Funds Nodder messaged you on Bracelet Book. What did we talk about? What did we talk about? Oh, right there. What did you ask me? Oh, yes, we've talked a few times, it looks like. Oh. Yes, you were talking about the patterns you were doing, and there were some reported things in there. Yeah, we've messaged back and forth a couple times. It's nice to put one of those names to a name here that I recognize these names more because I feel like I don't connect to people quite to the same extent on the Bracelet Book messages as I do here. But, you know, maybe do some videos showcasing those old but nice patterns you mentioned because most of us will never get down to seeing them, I think. You mean you can't search through my entire to-dos? You mean it's too extensive? Honestly, though, I've thought about it, but I don't know. I've thought about it, and then I'm like, I get into there, and it's the same when I'm cleaning out my to-dos, and I get so wishy-washy on what patterns I want to keep and stuff, and I just then I end up just liking everything, and I don't want to remove anything, and it's a mess. Maybe I'll pick out some of my like favorite patterns on there and show them in a video sometime. That could be kind of cool. But yeah, maybe I should do that sometime. That's actually a good idea. Weird question, but how long do you think a goldfish lives for? Like a regular goldfish? Or are we talking like what kind of fish? Like a goldfish? I tell you what, the only standard goldfish I ever had, they lived for over a year. It was close to 2 years, and I will never know the full lifespan of a goldfish because my brother was very small and decided that the fish were thirsty and shared his apple juice with them and dumped his cup of apple juice into the fish tank, and the acidity killed them. So, yeah, I think they could probably live like 2 years if they're kept in like a good tank, good conditions, kept clean and everything with like a filter and the whole 9 yards. From when you joined, how much has Bracelet Book improved? It depends on what you consider improved. It's definitely changed. Like when I started on Bracelet Book, Johnny wasn't even the one approving patterns. I know going back a couple years, some of you may remember when Johnny was the one who was moderating all the patterns. Before Johnny, I remember Attic was the one who accepted all the patterns and stuff. And it was a little more close knit back then. I remember the pattern drama back in the day about someone copying patterns between like Friendship Dash Bracelets and Bracelet Book. I remember being there for that. I remember when Attic left, but I also remember when a lot of features changed. Like I remember when all of the alpha patterns were like two-tone colors. And I remember when it was a big thing when someone posted a picture with more than 2 colors in their alpha, and everyone was going nuts trying to figure out how to do it. And I remember it was like a huge thing when you could do more than 2 colors in an alpha pattern. And then like I remember the difficulty rating being dropped off of patterns. I remember it was a huge thing also when you could put holes into your patterns for the first time. Everyone went nuts with that. So that was really cool. And I remember, I remember a lot of that stuff because honestly, I think my first pattern that I ever posted on there was below the 10,000 number. So there's been a lot of improvements and a lot of changes. It went from Addict to then Johnny, and then we've opened up the moderation system, which I think is nicer. I know some people have issues with that, but the community's grown way too much for one person to do it anymore. And I think there's just a lot more techniques and stuff there now and a lot of new features. So far as that goes, I think Bracelet Book has expanded extremely, but sometimes I do miss the smaller community. I feel like the sense of like knowing everyone isn't really there anymore. You obviously will have like your groups that you chat to and stuff, but it's changed a lot. But I don't think, to me, Bracelet Book was always better than Friendship Dash Bracelets. I always enjoyed it more. So I think it's just changed. I don't know that it's like improved because there wasn't really a time I didn't like it, but definitely a lot has changed. A lot has changed for sure. Can you do more moderating videos? I've thought about it. I actually filmed one once and then ended up deleting it because I wasn't in a good mindset, and it was basically me being like really miserable staring at the screen. So I may do another one. We'll see. I haven't quite decided yet. My goldfish is 8 years old and 7 months, almost 8 months. Oh my gosh. I didn't know that a regular goldfish could live that long. That's crazy. Oh no, I assume that's an account of my goldfish story. Yeah, my little brother, he would have been about 2, decided that the fish were thirsty and shared his apple juice with them. That's funny. Sad but funny and cute of your little brother. I wasn't too impressed because they were my goldfish. I'd picked them out at the pet store like a year before or a year and a half before. So I wasn't too impressed because it was gruesome. Like they did not go out well. They didn't die immediately. Like their scales started peeling up from their body and they got all bloody and gross looking. Like it wasn't pleasant. But like in hindsight, a little bit, yeah, it's like morbid, but like a little bit funny that my little brother was like, but mom, they were thirsty. Like, cause they live in water. Yeah, they're definitely thirsty, Tyler. Definitely thirsty. I clean my fish for myself, and he's a normal goldfish. That's incredible that he's that old. I didn't think a goldfish would live that long, to be honest. I jumped down the rabbit hole of how long goldfish can live once. Apparently, according to the internet, with the right conditions, they can outlive your pet dog, allegedly as old as 30 years. Is that a regular goldfish, or is that into like koi fish? Because I feel like koi fish have long lifespans. But I also feel like koi fish are just goldfish that have been put in a bigger tank and grow bigger. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I actually got some to-dos from your to-dos, so thanks for that, Megan. You have a great taste in patterns. Thank you. It's definitely grown. That has definitely grown and I think improved over the years, but I'm glad you were able to find stuff in there. I feel like there's something for everyone in my to-do list because it's so long. Longest living one was 43 years old. Wow. Wow. My mind is like blown right now. I didn't think a fish could live that long. Like I shouldn't say that because I feel like there's like sharks and stuff that could live that long, but like a goldfish, like I didn't think like a bass or like a pike or anything like that could live that long. So it blows my mind that like a regular old goldfish can live that long. You talked about Stardew Valley in your last not along. How is that going? I play it on and off. I don't like stick to it for super long periods. I used to. Mostly I pop into it once in a while to kind of just relax and name more animals stupid things. That's like my thing. That's what I get the biggest kick out of in playing that game, honestly, is I get the animals and I like getting all the, like, that's my thing in like Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley. I like the animal side of it. And I get all the animals and I name them ridiculous things. So like I have a goat in Stardew Valley that I named Tupac because he's considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. And then I named my second goat Eminem. Then it turned out Eminem had a baby, so then I had to name the baby Haley because like that makes sense because Eminem was the parent, and it just my Stardew animals just the names spiral ridiculously like that, and like I find it incredibly amusing, but I don't play it for like extensive periods at a time. I haven't played it in a while. On my way to a world record, just lots of more years. Just a few. Yeah. 8. You said yours was 8 years old and the longest living is 43. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine? You'll be like 60 and be like, this is my childhood goldfish. I'm not sure if you mentioned this already, but how did you first discover Bracelet book? Honestly, my journey to Bracelet book was way back in the day. I had got a book about learning friendship bracelets, and it was a book just called Friendship Bracelets, and it was by Kamala Grisky. And those were like the only patterns I thought existed in the world. Like that was the only book I knew of, and those were the only patterns that I knew. And then when we did finally get internet, when I was like 14, I did a Google of friendship bracelet patterns once just to see, because I don't know, I just bored one day, and I came upon Heather's friendship bracelets, which had patterns, and they were in like they'd show a picture and then the pattern would be wrote out. So there'd be no diagrams or anything. And that's when I learned how to make alphas, was from a written pattern. And then after that, it would be like a good few years later that I got an iPad mini. I remember I like saved up my Christmas money and went out and I got the first version of the iPad mini, and I'd like just searched it into the app bar, like the app store, to see if there was anything, and Bracelet book came up. And so I downloaded it, and that's how I found Bracelet book all those many years ago. A great old lady impression. Right? Nailed it. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I think it's crazy when people have pets for long, long times. Because honestly, I've never had a pet for a really, really long time. We used to have after those goldfish, we had like a really, really big tank. It was actually an old like bearded dragon terrarium that we had got at a yard sale for super cheap, and we used it as an actual fish aquarium, and we had a bunch of fish in there, and we had that going for years, and it was really, really cool. And some of the fish in there lived for a good few years, and then we moved, and I remember it was really, really hot, and my mom had opened the trunk of the van, and she had someone helping her move on like from our old house to put the tank in. And then she was going to call one of our friends in the next town over. But because it was so hot, she opened the trunk because she didn't want the fish to bake. And the whole tank ended up sliding off the folded seats in the back of the van and smashing on the pavement. And she ran out into the driveway and tried to save them all and like put them in the big punch bowl. But they didn't all make it. And then they were put into a smaller tank. And then, yeah. Eventually all those fish died. Then I had a cat that was like an outdoor cat, and he got hit by a car. And then I had cats that got like ill. So I haven't ever had a pet. I think the longest pet I've ever had was like 5 years. So it's kind of like blows my mind when people are like, I've had pets for 10 years or 13 years. I'm like, what? That's insane to me. I'm Edna, the made-up name, old but young. My childhood lives right here in this tank, and he's normal just like me. I'm still a bit miffed that variations don't show up on the app version of Bracelet Book. You know what? I lived so long without variations on Bracelet Book, I don't really use them. To be honest, I don't really use them. I think I've done a variation once, and it was for the fancy shaped alpha bracelet, just because I feel like that bracelet takes a lot of brain power for me to figure out what strings I have to knot to and stuff. So it's easier for me on that pattern because I had so many colors to actually do a variation. But otherwise, I don't use the variation feature, so it doesn't really bug me. I'm used to having to just remember the colors that I'm subbing in my head. Because variations didn't come until really late on Bracelet Book, to be honest. Like that's one of those things that wasn't always a feature. Honestly, same, Amanda. Yeah, a few of you guys. I know people love variations. I've gone so long without the use of them. I don't really use them as a tool. And that's why we can't love patterns on the app version. I know admin wants to implement that, but from my understanding, there's a bunch of stuff that needs to be adjusted in it, and it's not quick stuff from what I understand, but he wants to do that stuff in there. So hopefully that'll be coming. Yeah, there are a lot of things that are not in the app version, but that are on the website version. Yeah, from what I understand, it has something to do with when you make like a lot of large changes to, it takes longer for like Apple to approve and stuff. I don't really know about app development, but admin kind of explained it as just being a really comprehensive thing that's not as easy as just like syncing it from the website to the app. But yeah, hopefully those things will be coming. But again, I don't really use loves either. I think I've got a couple patterns loved, but honestly, it's one of those things I went so long without that I just don't really think to use it. My hamster died before just 3 years old, but one that I have now is really fat. He could lose a few pounds. He's on the chub side of things, and my cat's also fat. She's 26 pounds. Oh, that's great. One of my cats that ended up staying with my ex, like I had mentioned in the last video, she is on the chub side of things too, and yeah, is like 26 pounds. That cat is the laziest cat I've ever seen. She literally will lay on the floor, like pretend this is the floor and like this is her food dish. She will literally lay on her side with her head right beside her food dish, reach her paw into the food dish, drag the kibble up over the side onto the floor beside her mouth, and then go. Like, she won't even sit up to eat her food. She lays on the floor beside it. Who does that? Just that cat. The other cat didn't do that. How many cats do you have? I have no cats here because I'm not supposed to have pets in this apartment. I've been debating on asking them if it's negotiable because there are pets allowed in the building, but I rent, I don't own. And from what I understand, if you own your condo, then you can have pets, but they don't like people who are renting out to have pets. And I assume that's just because of the level of damage that could be caused. But I'm really tempted to ask if I can get a dog because I'm like ground floor with a balcony that goes out into the yard. So, like, realistically, I feel like that should be acceptable, but I haven't asked. You've been on here for so long. I know, but I feel like the chat's been going good this week, so I don't mind, and I don't feel like I'm losing my voice. So, when did you get your 2 cats and what are their names? We got those cats. We got them about a year apart, and the first one we would have got. Hold on a second. I want to say would have been like 2016, maybe 2017. But I may be able to find a picture of the fat cat is the first one we got. That's way too far back. That is before I moved to Alberta. Oh my gosh, this is a million years ago. This is crazy. I didn't even think I still had these pictures here. Okay. I want to say it was like 2016. I could be totally wrong though. Wow, there's like old bracelet pictures in here and everything. Kittius Catus, where are you? Ah. It would have been in 2016, and then I got the other one a year after that because my ex used to landscape and he'd be on EI, or like he wouldn't work over the winters. And I think we got her in December or November of that year. Oh my gosh, there's a picture of me with dark hair, guys. I haven't had dark hair in a very long time. That's probably the last time I had dark hair. But yeah, so that's when I got them. And the one that's fat and lazy is named Nala. And the little white fluffy one that I think has been in a couple videos is Peachy. That's one smart, lazy cat, right? Like, ridiculous. My cat won't eat unless it's above the rim, and she sits while she eats. Oh, is your cat one of those cats that howls as soon as like the bowl's not spilling over? The fat cat was one that like if you could see the bottom of the bowl at all, she'd start howling. It seems a lot of landlords don't like to allow pets because of potential damage. I have found that a lot of places don't seem to like cats specifically, especially if they're furnished. Like I encountered a lot of places that will accept dogs but not cats here. And I think it's because cats have a tendency to claw things and they won't declaw cats. I think it's Canada wide now pretty much because it's inhumane. So any cat that's, you know, relatively young will have claws and will potentially damage the furniture. But dogs, they don't seem to have as much of an issue with, which doesn't make sense to me because dogs are generally known for like chewing things up. So I don't know. Seems kind of odd to me. Do you have a favorite type of dog breed? German Shepherds and Bernese Mountain Dogs. My mom used to rent out a room in our basement, and he had a King Shepherd, which is basically just like a big German Shepherd. And that was like the greatest dog ever. Like just so smart and such a good dog. I like fell in love with the German Shepherd breed from him. And then at our work, we love dogs. So anyone who owns a dog that works there can pretty much bring their dog in. And one of my coworkers has a German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd just loves me and I love him. So that's probably like the two best dogs that I've ever met. So I really love German Shepherds. And then my neighbors had a Bernese Mountain Dog, and that was one that, again, you could like lay on the floor with and just snuggle it. And he was so floofy and so good. I just loved him. His name was Casper. So I feel like, yeah, those are probably my two favorites. What time is it now? 9:07. I have one hamster, two dogs, a cat, a lizard, a fish, chickens, and soon a duck. Oh my gosh. You sound like you're running Stardew Valley at your home. I had a hamster once, and I bought it from the pet store, and it already had wet tail, so it only lived for a couple of weeks, which was unfortunate because I'd never had a hamster before, so I didn't really know what it was until too late to like take him to the vet. I didn't really think anything of it, to be honest, and then woke up one day and it was dead. So, and then I just didn't replace it because the only pet store in town that had hamsters was that one. And I was like, if they're selling me a sick hamster the first time, then probably the second time too. It's also because if you get cat piss on carpet or furniture, you can't get the smell out of it. Very true. But also there are some concoctions that work for like a human nose, but for a pet nose, no. And therein lies the problem, because another cat or another animal can smell that. And then that triggers in their mind to like mark the territory, and it becomes like a never ending cycle. Dogs can destroy furniture too. I heard of a German Shepherd that destroyed a 3-seater sofa, like tore off the leather skin and turned the stuffing into tiny pieces. Yeah, a lot of stories about like huskies too are really bad for that. I remember my mom telling me a story about a husky she used to have that like ate the siding off the house. Like they just chew into everything. So I don't understand why there's so many apartments, like when I was looking, that would accept dogs but not cats. It just seemed really odd to me, because I'm like the potential for damage is there with both of them. I have 2 Burmese mountain dogs. Oh, because my mom's allergic to shedding hair and they're hypoallergenic. I didn't actually know that they were hypoallergenic. But that's really cool because they're like so floofy. I love them. My friend showed me a pic of the aftermath and there was just the sofa frame left. Oh my gosh. Like, to the effect, like, yeah, it's kind of funny. Like the dog was able to do that. But also thinking about how expensive couches are, I'm like, ooh, that's an expensive oopsie. That's what that is. What bracelet do you recommend we make? I don't have bracelet book. Were you looking to make an alpha or a normal pattern? Let me know, and I'll see if I can think of something that I know there's a tutorial in existence on like YouTube or something. I'm thinking maybe the management fear for abandonment of pets in the apartment condo complex too. Possibly. I also think that there's a fear of maybe abusing just the concept of having pets. Because like I know there was a guy I knew, because we worked in like the same company, like he wasn't really a friend or anything, but he loved cats. And so the company had told him in this building that they're normally not allowed pets, that yeah, he could have his cat. And by the time he moved out, he had like 14 cats in his apartment. So, and it's like in a small apartment, I feel like that's a lot. So you get, yeah, probably people who just leave the animals behind or neglect them. You also, if it's an actual apartment building and not like a basement apartment, I've seen some buildings where like the carpets in the hallways are all stained because people don't take their dogs out in time and their animals pee in the hallways and stuff. And then you just get a nasty like odor in the hallways too. But I think there's a lot of reasonable reasons that pets wouldn't be allowed in apartments. It just always baffles me when they're like, oh, you can have a cat but not a dog, or you can have a dog but not a cat, because I'm like, a lot of those reasons then become negated, because it's like if you're worried about damage, they can all potentially have damage. But anyways, my favorite breed is toy poodle. Very cute. My stepsister has a miniature poodle, actually. Toy is like really small, miniature is middle size, and there's like full size standard poodle, right? My friend has one. I don't think it's toy, because I think toy is like small. He's like, I don't know, like this tall, like top of his head to his feet. She got him in Korea, actually. They're so adorable. You should get one. Or the Bernese Mountain Dog. Yeah. I wish. I can't have pets though. So maybe one day. What's the difference between an alpha and a normal? A normal pattern is when, like, similar to like a chevron chevron bracelet, where all of the strings in your pattern knot around each other, instead of knotting onto something. And in an alpha pattern, you have base strings and you use a knotting string that knots around your bass strings and you never see the bass strings. So the bass strings don't actively knot unless you're knotting old school style. But I'm going to do a video on that, old school alphas, and then do a video on old school alpha changes. We're going to kick it old. I'm just going to go through all the alpha stuff and just make it a whole like playlist on my channel. Are you an animal lover and save all where you can? I do like animals, but I've never been in a position where I can save a bunch of them. Like I'm very much someone who is conscious of taking on an animal only when you can like afford it. And to be honest, like I grew up in a house that didn't have a ton of money, and my spending habits were then based off of that, which is to say they were piss poor. So I've never been in a position to have a lot of excess cash. So I haven't found myself in a position where I could take animals in and just save them. But occasionally I have caught like a stray off of the road and taken them to like the SPCA or put food out for them. But I don't know that I would say I have a save all mentality. I would love to see those videos. Yeah, after I posted that post, that little poll on my community tab, it really got me thinking, because there were some people who said they didn't even know what kind of color change they were doing. I'm like, it just really got me thinking that people don't know where friendship bracelets like started anymore. Like the old school techniques, they just know the new stuff. And I'm like, well, in a lot of cases, it's sometimes useful to have all those other tricks up your sleeve because they can help you come up with other techniques or understand why something is done a certain way. Or just like, sometimes it's just nice to know like the history of stuff. What normal pattern would you recommend for me? A normal pattern, hey? Obviously, you should do something on my channel. Just kidding. Let me see. There's one I'm thinking of that Alex did a, don't unsubscribe to Alex. There is one, pattern tutorials that I was thinking of that I know Alex did. If you're looking for something easy, but that looks good, Alex has a tutorial on a pattern that I really like. She calls it Neon Rectangle Bracelet Tutorial. That one's really fun, and you could do some really nice color combinations with it, but it's really easy. And if you like that, that one's cool. Or you could do a starburst. Alex, again, has tutorials on that. I think Masha has a tutorial on it now, too. But yeah, I don't know how complicated you're looking. You could try a Zolino bracelet. I've never tried one of those, to be honest. I've been thinking about doing a knotting dangerously because it's a technique I've never actually done. Yeah, maybe try one of those. I never learned how to make two-tone alphas, so a video would be great. I have an old one, but the quality on it isn't good. And yeah, I really want to redo it. So I think I'm going to probably film that tonight. It's not even 9:30. There's lots of night left. So I'll probably film that tonight. Oh, I'm sorry about that. It's nothing to be sorry about. I mean, where your story begins doesn't dictate where it ends. So we're just at a pit stop along the way, you know? So I'm not sorry about that. I hope that one day I'm in a position that I can have lots of animals because I do love having them around and I do like the comfort of them. I just haven't been able to before that. Maybe do a video on the evolution of friendship bracelets making / techniques. I started doing that once and then realized that was going to be like a 2-hour, 3-hour video. And now I think I'm going to break it down into videos in a series. Normal patterns that are easy but look good. Fishbone and starburst. Fishbone does look good. Starburst looks good too. I've just never finished it. But Fishbone is an easy one that looks good. For sure. Anyways, guys, I think we're probably going to call it here. We've been on for almost 2 hours. That is way longer than I expected. But I do want to film some tonight. So I think I'm going to sign off here and probably go film. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you all have a great weekend and you got to craft or at least just relax and chat, hang out with some people this Friday night. I'm tired and my eye hurts. Yeah, definitely. Like, rest your eyes for sure. Rest your eye. My gosh. Hopefully it feels better soon. Have a good night, everyone. Have a really good weekend. And hopefully I have a video already edited and everything for Monday, but I may get antsy and post it earlier. So that will be coming soon. And I'm going to go record. So have a good night. Have a good weekend. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.